And hello, Astro friends. It's Melanie on Tuesday, the 27th of August 2024, with the Astro Weather for the week. So, what a wild and crazy week ahead! Like, seriously, it was already today a little bit, yeah, adventurous, I should say, maybe for you as well, in the internet communication domain and so on. No wonder with the moon in Gemini and Mercury still retro until tomorrow, the 28th, but now in turnaround storm from retro to direct. And Uranus is also about to go retrograde on the 1st of September. So we have a U-turn situation of Mercury and Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury. Uranus is also rules technology, electronics, and stuff. And at the same time, Pluto, which is in early Aquarius, will leave Aquarius for one more time to go briefly back to Capricorn, also from September 1st on until November 19th. So this is quite a gear shifting week. And on top of it, we have the new moon coming up on September 2nd in Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury. Okay, so there's layers over layers of themes around information, news, techniques, methods, technology, internet, freedom of speech. That's also the piece with Jupiter and Mars still in Gemini. Mars is in its last leg of Gemini until September 4th. So I have so much Mercury, Virgo, Gemini, Uranus energy. Wild. Anyway, how do we break it down? What's happening sequentially? What's going on this week? Okay. Now, today we have the moon in Gemini, as I said. Let's start with the moon actually this time. Doesn't always have to be the same pattern. Today, the moon is still in Gemini, and the key factor would be the two key factors were the moon meeting Jupiter this morning, 4:50 a.m., always Pacific here, and then meeting Mars at 5 p.m. So the Jupiter-Mars conjunction that we had already in August. Okay, I'm losing track here when that all happened, but it happened recently, and now the moon basically brings it back and links the two again on one day. So moon, Mars, Jupiter, all in Gemini. So there's a lot of energy, lots of information, lots of communication firing here. And yeah, you might have seen that as well. For me, definitely with some technology issues and with communication with clients, with friends. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of buzzing, including wasps are also showing up, which is all very apropos. And a hummingbird yesterday, so that's from the sweet and yeah, sweet side of the winged messenger. Then yes, the moon will go into Cancer tomorrow morning, just early morning, 1:47 a.m. Pacific. So then the energy already softens, and it's all about good care, gentle, loving care, self-care, care for the planet, care for our children, for our loved ones, for our critters, for our plants, right? So this is the emotional energy is coming in, an emotional wave with the moon in Cancer after all that mental, intellectual Gemini themed vibes yesterday and today. Then the moon will be in Cancer almost all of tomorrow, and Thursday the 29th, the whole day. Friday until 10:09 a.m. Then the moon goes into Leo. And Leo, usually very vibrant and dynamic and expressive and full of life. And yet it's also the moon is waning, right? So she will come into her dark phase. I would say the dark moon phase mostly from Saturday, Sunday. The new moon will be on Monday. On Monday the 2nd. That's Labor Day here in Canada. I believe also in the US. Yes, of course. And in the evening, 6:56 p.m. will be the new moon in Virgo. So the dark moon Sunday mostly and Monday before New Ness. But the Leo moon before, fantastic time for celebration and showing our love, right? And Friday, as I said, most of Friday, all of Saturday the 31st, and she transitions as the moon in Leo from August to September. And so what else is going on? We're in the first part of Virgo, the first 10 degrees. First 10 degrees have a Capricorn undertone. So that started right when the Sun entered Virgo on the 22nd of August and goes until September 1st. And then the Sun will go into the second part of Virgo, which will have a Taurus undertone, but let's talk about that later next week. So the Capricorn undertone, Capricorn Virgo combination is, can be very industrious, can be very much work and outcome oriented. And it is on the, I would say, a highest expression is working for the highest purpose, right? Serving, being of service, Virgo, for the highest purpose with Capricorn. So any of that, also that can have to do, like very practically speaking, with prioritizing, right? What has priority here? What is the best way of using our time and energy and our, all our crafts and skills, right? So that comes up a lot with, also with clients who come to me with questions like, hey, let's explore my purpose here with working better and serving better, right? That's all Virgo Capricorn. Then let's go into the alignment now as we create a little bit of a framework and a little bit of a grounding for this wired energy. What's going on with the alignments this week? Starting tomorrow, the 28th, we have tomorrow the Mercury in Leo, end of Leo, going direct. So going out of retrograde, as I said, it's another turnaround, it's another U-turn, back to normal, so to say. And what is normal? So in other words, integrating our experiences under Mercury retro since August 4th, and that the internalized Mercury, so to say, the Mercury retrograde, also Mercury looking at all communication patterns. Now it's time to turn that around, having learned from it, hopefully, having learned about the workings of our mind, how the mind can be so fast to jump in or can be reactive, can run the show, especially from the Mercury retro in Leo perspective. And what we say, how much does that have to do with needing to be seen and loved, Leo-wise, or ego comes out, narcissism comes out in others and self, and what does that tell us about, our spirit, our consciousness, the heart, right? Back to the heart. From the heart, you can't say anything wrong, really, right? When you come from the heart. And so that's the big theme with Mercury retro now behind the Sun. The Sun is leading again. Mercury is following and serving. And so let's integrate the experiences of Mercury retro this month. And then on Thursday, the 29th, Venus will leave Virgo. Yeah, Venus has been also in Virgo, ruled by Mercury, adding to the list of the beginning here. Venus will go into Libra, where Venus rules from the 29th, from Thursday on until September 22nd. And so let me take a sip of tea on that note. Venus in Libra, it's all about beauty, harmony, balance, culture, creating, cultivating relationships, and looking at the balance in life and with others. Very important. Venus will align when she's in Libra. She will align with Lilith, who's already in Libra, and with the South Node. Don't have the date right here in front of me, but you can find it also on my Venus in Libra article on my blog, which I put a link to the blog below in the show notes here. And Venus will connect with the South Node. What does that mean? So the South Node has been in Libra already since last July 2023, and until end of January next year. 1.5 years, always South Node, North Node combination in one sign. And the South Node in Libra shows us where Libra, too much of the lower vibration of Libra drains our energy, and we need to release that. What does that mean? For Libra, that means like compromising, just to be nice so that nobody gets hurt. We're compromising, we're walking on eggshells, we're playing nice, we are strategizing, we are fake actually, right? And in contrast, what I mean is also we need to cultivate more healthy Aries energies. Aries has the North Node at this point, and Chiron, right? Being authentic, starting with ourselves. What do you want? And go forward, taking initiative, starting something fresh. And that can be very raw and vulnerable. We might feel that is, it takes a lot of courage. But actually, just getting started is the point with Aries, right? And with Libra, we can obviously sit on a fence, weigh all these pros and cons, and talking to everybody. But that takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time. But nevertheless, Venus in Libra can help us find balance and find harmony, aesthetics. It's beautiful, would be beautiful in the Virgo season with Venus in Libra until fall equinox, to also create a more harmonious home environment, for example, right? So yeah, I helped a friend yesterday with plants and bringing more beauty and harmony into your space, and new friends and being social, right? That's Libra Venus. Then we have this week culminating, really the energy culminates on September 1st and 2nd, because that's where everything happens. What happens on September 1st, Sunday? First of all, Uranus in Taurus goes retrograde until January 31st next year. So we are, as I said before, in the Uranus turnaround phase, and the actual date is September 1st. Uranus in Taurus, Uranus has been has been direct since end of January this year, and the cycle, the rhythm with Uranus is typically from January till end of August, from end of January to end of August, early September, it's direct, and then from early September till end of January, it's retrograde. So this has been a phase now, also while Pluto has been for that whole time actually in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Pluto has been in Aquarius since January 20th. And that's the second big news on September 1st. Pluto will once more go out of Aquarius and into Capricorn. But we have a strong Aquarius-Uranus connection here. And so we've seen in the Uranus direct phase since end of January a lot of external surprises, shocks, paradigm shifts, and unsettling situations, especially in the socio-political realm. Society is very much about Uranus, right? So it's about the ruler of Aquarius, but also what's going on for the future of nature, of planet Earth, that's Taurus, right? And the economy, also Taurus, money, right? All of that, cost of living crisis, food crisis, all of that crisis is a Uranian thing because it's disruptive. Stability, especially, which is what Taurus is about, is unsettled, right? So at the same time, with Uranus in Taurus, we're also called to come into our freedom, embody freedom, and freedom that has to do either with our values, which is also Taurus, or and with our physical existence, with our body, with our senses, with where, with our location on planet Earth, right? Lots of people are nowadays opting for locational independence. That's also Uranus in Taurus. And finding your sweet spot, finding a place that you can really be at peace in, be grounded, enjoy life. All of that is also Uranus in Taurus in a positive way. And of course, we need freedom for that. And that's so there had been experiments around that were available during Uranus direct, and especially if Uranus in about 27 degrees of Taurus right now, yep, is 27:15. If that is where you have planets, your moon, your sun, your planets are there, end of Taurus, then you're definitely affected by this Uranus, especially by the stationary Uranus. And yeah, come for a session if that interests you to explore that by any means. And I still have until August 31st my Client Appreciation Month on at the occasion of the 24th anniversary of my astrology practice. And so there's fine discounts for everybody until the 31st. If as long as you contact me by then. I don't have sessions available, but as long as you contact me, you're in. And so Uranus going retrograde is all about liberation from within. So this is all about really freedom from attachments, where spiritual teachings come handy in this regard. Yeah, freedom from attachments, freedom from also unhealthy habits, right? So we're going retro, we're going back to um, patterns, and that can have to do with food, with consumption, with too sedentary lifestyle, can be also Taurus, or being stuck in some way or another and feeling stagnant, right? So Uranus can help us break um, patterns of stagnation and break free and get off, yeah, a too comfortable comfort trap, right? Get out of that. Then we have also on September 1st, as I said, Pluto will once more will leave Aquarius and once more go to Capricorn to the very tail end of the goat from September 1st to November 19th. And that coincides, what an interesting correspondence, with the last phase, with the hot phase of the US elections, and just after the elections, Pluto will enter Aquarius. This will also be the last phase, last official phase of the US PLUTO return that I talked in various occasions, including on the blog. So if you go to the blog, you can find a full article about that. And the US had their PLUTO return 2023, mostly 2022. It started already 2023, and now it's basically just the integration phase before and around the elections. So Pluto in Capricorn, US have Pluto in Capricorn, right? 1776, and now for the first time in their history, return, end of Capricorn. So it brought out a lot of the shadow, a lot of corruption, a lot of corporate corruption, a lot of control, governmental control, all sorts of things that actually violate the spirit, the essence, the soul of the country. And this is all about a restoration and a renewal, so that actually we, or the US in this case, but it applies to all of us, can, take the best of history, that is Capricorn, and transfer it into the future, which is Aquarius. So the Capricorn Aquarius juncture has a lot to do also with history and future. And it has to do with old empires that expire, that are not functional, operational anymore, and a new humanity, a new era for our humanity is starting. That is one big indicator for the beginning of the Aquarius age. So how do we pull together as a community, as equals, rather than all these hierarchies and outdated structures that we don't need anymore? And how does that work in a country like the US? Will be really on the forefront of all that. Then, as mentioned, we have on September 2nd, we will have the new moon in Virgo. So I just show you a little preview, and next Astro News will be, Astro Weather will be more about that new moon and its, its first effects basically. So here is the new moon, right? You have sun and moon at 11 degrees of Virgo in opposition to Saturn at like 13, 14, where are we with Saturn? 16 Pisces. So you have that polarity. It's like a full moon in disguise, so to say, right? Because it's a very strong emphasis on the Virgo Pisces axis with Jupiter in Gemini, not exactly, but still pretty much in between, right? The Saturn Jupiter square from that was exact on August 19th. That is definitely reverberating here, and we have a mutable, lots of flexible mutable energy, especially from Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini, are very strongly activated. So it's quite a whirlwind energy, and there seems to be so much to do typically and be so busy with that Virgo energy. It is a great start, I must say, for the school season that, as far as I understand, starts right after Labor Day. So on September 3rd, right after the new moon, after Mercury is out of retro, all that is good news. So it is, if you want to start also a work project and you have waited for Mercury to go out of retro, I would say wait a little bit until Mercury is out of retro storm, so after the retro phase, which will be on September 4th. And so on that day will also be the day when Mars leaves Gemini and goes into Cancer. That's another story. But nevertheless, it is a good start for beginnings, generally speaking, depending on what it is for you. But Virgo typically has to do with some really practical projects, right, that you want to do, especially end of summer. It's the harvest maiden energy with Virgo, to clear things and to prepare for cooler season. So all of that is very Virgo. And you might get a lot of energy through that Virgo new moon. And at the same time, as I said, Saturn is in Pisces retro, and that's in polarity here with the Virgo new moon. So this is also about, with Saturn, can be different things. One could be setting boundaries energetically, where you could feel overwhelmed in many regards, right? So saying, okay, this is as much as energy I can handle, and more of that wouldn't be so good for me. And that relates especially also to the Gemini world, right, which is the communicative and the news world. And so much going on now in the media. Media news is very Pisces and Gemini. And Virgo in that context would also say, hey, I got to start on a healthier note here into the new month, into the kind of new cooler season, or fifth season, so to say. And what would be a good health and wellness practice where I can take good care of myself in that regard and minimize the exposure to what's just overwhelming or literally toxic in many regards, from the Pisces side, news and otherwise. And yeah, and then also that actually goes well with Mars in Cancer. Mars entering Cancer on September 4th, and that will be also really being proactive when it comes to taking care of our needs, and after all that mental energy, really tuning into our own rhythms and cycles and going with those, right? Rather than being so much in the head, being more in a gentle, caring, homey uh, situation, doing work at home maybe that makes your home a sweeter, a nicer place. Lovely. But before, on September 3rd, is when Mars, still in Gemini, will square Neptune in Pisces. So that can be a little bit of a wild card energy, again, from the whole news and communication department. There can be either with Neptune leaks, leaks of media leaks, or things can get really kind of out of control and chaotic, right? So either even in the whole debate scene, or there can be even with Mars, the warrior, even some violence can pop up that's kind of chaotic, right? But it mostly happens in the mental realm, I would say. And that Mars in Gemini, by the way, has been super relevant for the U.S. because the U.S. have their Mars in Gemini. The U.S. have now their Mars return every 2 years, and this Mars in Gemini since July 21st. So much has happened for the states. That's been super crazy. Let me just see. There's something going on with my tea light. Okay, some buzzing here, and there has been so much going on in the U.S. since Mars entered Gemini, and you can find also an article specifically about that, Mars in Gemini for the U.S. and its election contenders, which also shifted, as we know, since July 21st. There's been shifts and 2 shifts, 3 shifts, you could say. And I looked at the charts and did analysis of the charts of Trump, Biden, Kamala Harris, and also RFK Jr. So, and including even relationship charts between RFK Jr. and Trump since the recent events, right? So you can find all of that in that article. And then, so Mars square Neptune on September 4th, that's a little bit ahead next week, just before entering Cancer. And then backtracking again in good Mercury retro fashion. In the meantime, Venus, right? Venus will enter Libra on the 29th, but before that, tomorrow on the 28th, she will go into opposition from Virgo, will go into opposition with Neptune. So that part is rather a sweet, right? Sweet energy. Although Venus in Virgo, she's not so comfortable in Virgo because she can find so much to do rather than just to be, right? So that can turn into some kind of overwhelm. But at the same time, if you serve with love, which is also Venus in Virgo, and make the world a more beautiful place, and at the same time ask for help, ask for guidance, right? How you're being naturally, organically led to the places where you can be of help, right? That would be also the Neptune, and blessings can be helpful. Doesn't always have to be some activity, right? Can be blessings or connections. It can be super helpful, right? That's again Venus Neptune. Okay, so I believe that's good for today because there's been so much information with the Gemini side, but that's also part of the day. Mercury Mercury in Leo retrograde, but the moon in Gemini meeting Jupiter today and Mars, right? So take it easy. Definitely make sure you're also in nature and ground all this energy today, tomorrow, and the whole week. Super important. And I wish you a beautiful week. Now here on the West Coast, it's sunny again, and we can enjoy the wonderful late summer, early autumn, almost energy here. Take care. Wish you well. Hope I see you again in person very soon. Bye.